The time for car presentations is over, and just a few days before the start of testing, a first assessment can be made. The question we started with is, who will beat Red Bull in 2024? No one, you might think. But it's not that simple. Here's how Ferrari, Mercedes, McLaren, and other surprises could throw a spanner in the works for Adrian Newey and company. McLaren could be the first pursuer of Red Bull, especially in the early races. They are the team that has provided more continuity to the project, and this is undoubtedly an advantage. Furthermore, the performances shown last season are undoubtedly an additional motivation to do well. In Woking, they have not yet revealed all the innovations on the new car. They probably have some interesting cards to play, but they will only do so in Bahrain. Ferrari, too, will probably be in the fight, although they must first get to know the new car. The SF-24 has changed a lot compared to last year. However, the initial signs seem to be positive. In Maranello, for the first time in a while, they seem to have a clear plan and direction to follow. New updates are already under consideration, and above all, there seems to be a defined development path. Regarding Ferrari, the Maranello engineers chose to retain some ideas from previous single-seaters. Among these are the suspensions that maintained the push geometry at the front and pull at the rear. However, the team has evolved the linkages and attachments to the suspension chassis, with the rear being extremely innovative. The comments of Enrico Cardile, technical director of Ferrari, reveal a certain confidence in the work done. Moreover, from the shakedown onwards, there already seems to be a clear idea of the development to be undertaken with the SF-24. From an aerodynamic point of view, the team hasn't taken many risks, but that doesn't mean they are not competitive. After all, the track will speak. Ferrari and Mercedes have followed a somewhat similar approach. For both teams, it was about drawing a line on the aerodynamic concepts followed until last year and starting over. The right time to do so, especially considering that next year's cars will be a direct evolution of those in 2024. It is reasonable to think that Mercedes may have taken more risks than the Maranello team, not necessarily that it is the right path, mind you, and Toto Wolff's caution in his statements is a clear indication. Ferrari, rather, has chosen rationality. The SF-24 primarily aims to be a straightforward car to drive, and to ensure this, Ferrari has decided to maintain the pull rod geometry for the rear suspension. Mercedes has switched to push. This choice shows a certain confidence within the group led by Enrico Cardile, despite the absence of innovative solutions. Mercedes stands out with its front wing, notably unique, but legal doubts persist. Mercedes has changed a lot, discarding all the concepts of the previous cars. The new front wing is very interesting, but it remains to be seen if it will be considered legal. They have shown some interesting solutions, but they might still start a bit behind. Even from their statements, it seemed they were aware that there is still a lot of work to be done. Especially in the early period, they could be a bit more behind Red Bull. Aston Martin is probably the car that has surprised the most in these presentations. The Silverstone team aims to repeat the great performances shown at the beginning of last year, and they might succeed. They have worked a lot to improve the car's efficiency and straight-line performance. This was indeed one of the biggest flaws of the previous season's car. They have also had excellent results from simulations and could be in the running for the podium. They have very innovative and quite extreme concepts. The real surprise of this season, however, will probably be the Visa Cash App RB Formula One team. The new side wants to be more than a midfield team. The Red Bull RB19 mechanics will give it a great advantage over rivals and could even disturb the top teams. Daniel Ricciardo has clearly stated that they aim for the top 5, and looking at the car, it might not be so utopian. On the other hand, the verdict has already been issued by the British media. It's useless to hit the track in Bahrain, pointless to race throughout 2024. The great English minds, thanks to the superpowers that the London rain gives them, have already decided how the championship will end. Ferrari did something special, a little project that Adrian Newey sketched on the walls of the University of Southampton toilets between classes. After all, you can see it, right? The RB20 is all curves and complex fluid dynamics, mumbo-jumbo. You look at it and understand it will go fast. A car like that must go fast. And the SF-24? Well, it doesn't even have a spark, a suggestive bulge, an engineering doodle. But hasn't Ferrari revolutionized the rear suspension? Well, the British media cares about the cover of this reddish book, not the content. Regarding Mercedes and McLaren, nothing to say. These are cars designed by people who know what they're doing, according to the British media. It's clear they can get closer, looking but not touching, to those geniuses in Milton Keynes. The first has revolutionized the concept of the single-seater, with a front wing that is hard to understand if it's legal, and an idea that seems to finally satisfy Sir Lewis. Too late, one might say. In Woking, they have worked tirelessly to correct the remaining few wrong things from last season. At the presentation, they decided to hide everything hideable, admitting that they haven't even finished the development work. On their cover, one big word is written, warm and reassuring: continuity. Who knows if Lando Norris's book will have a chapter on his first win? And then there are the others. There's an all-new Alpine, which the French claim will start from the bottom. A completely new Haas, which the Americans claim will start from the bottom. There's a completely new Stake, which the Germans in Ingolstadt pray won't start from the bottom. Williams, Aston Martin, and Racing Bulls, on the other hand, have drawn a beautiful smiling face on their cover. They are the ones who are convinced they will do well. How well? Let's find out in Bahrain. It's not long now.